Terrible. Terrible. Sorry, cat. Sorry, downstairs neighbor. I don't know what you deserve. I don't know you. Maybe that's all you deserve. What the fuck do I know? Am I gonna last in this sweater? I don't know. Sleeves. Holy fuck. Why sleeves? They're so warm. Why are they so warm? Hey Siri,
Hmm?
can you set a timer for 5 minutes?
5 minutes starting now.
Thank you.
When the timer.
this podcast is for Kiki, who requested circus sideshows. Okay. Wow. So we probably know them as freak shows, which is not a thing that we call things now, or maybe we do. And anyways, it has it was and then was not. Anyway, but before we had the internet and people just like kind of showed us their weirdest qualities for free, people people were really curious about stuff that they didn't understand. And so eventually they turned into freak shows. But the earliest that there seems to be evidence is the 1500s, when people who had like physical abnormalities or oddities were considered cursed or like they had evil spirits. And that eventually turned into like real curiosity. And so a lot of these things were like people with dwarfism or a unique number of limbs. These are the specific examples I found in research. Also, if like people were super tall. One of the earliest known performers in something like this, whose maybe last name I don't remember, but his name was Lazarus. He had a parasitic twin that was attached to his chest, and because he couldn't like make a living doing any other job, he would charge people to look at him and his twin. And his twin would like was kind of like lay. There's like pictures on the internet, you can find them. Maybe I'll share one here in the video, or maybe I won't. I don't know. Probably I won't. You'll have to fucking use the internet like a normal human. Anyways, I'm wasting time. Jesus. The twin would just like lay on the chest, usually kept his eyes and mouth open, but every now and then would open his eyes and look around. Um, yeah. And eventually, anyway, they stopped performing. I can't remember what happened to them. It doesn't really matter. But later on, P.T. Barnum is kind of the person who like made sideshows or freak shows most famous and popular. They hit a peak in about the 1800s. And so the first thing that he did that made this, he was quite young. He purchased the rights to an exhibit of an elderly black singer named Joyce Heath. This woman claimed to be 161 years old and the nurse to George Washington. It's like most people were like, what the? Sure you are. But P.T. Barnum was really good at marketing. And so people were like, yeah, come. And they came. And so obviously they're coming to laugh. I think people also probably paid money to prove it wasn't true, but like, who cares? They're still getting money. Here's the thing. You need to know P.T. Barnum was not a good person at all, generally. He was greedy. He exploited and deceived people. And he is the person who said the quote, there's a sucker born every minute. He sucks. We don't like him. He's not our favorite. So it's not like he was helping this elderly woman make a dignified living. He had her working 10 to 12 hours a day until she died at 80 years old. And when she died, he charged people 50 cents to watch her autopsy as a final performance. He sucks. He also had this guy who was called General Tom Thumb, who had pituitary dwarfism. And PT took him to start working his freak show in the 1840s. He was 4 years old. His parents gave him to PT Barnum as a 4-year-old. And this guy, he learned how to sing and dance. Like he was, anyway. However, he did like make a fortune and he became a business partner eventually. And yeah, he was exploited, but he probably had way more success than he ever could have had otherwise because people wouldn't hire somebody who had any kind of like disability or something different about them. Like think about the bearded lady. Oh, actually, there's a bearded lady who um she was sent to PT Barnum before she was a year old because she was born with like full beard. And her parents were given like $150 a week for her to be performing. And she was there like her whole life. She like Anyway, she died at 37 from, tuberculosis. She'd even been kidnapped by a competitor who claimed that that was his daughter. Like, she's an adult. Oh, she wasn't an adult. She was like 8 or 10 or something. It doesn't matter. Um, anyways, and so these like, all of these people were exploited, all of them, all over the place. But healthcare didn't know, like medicine didn't know what was going on. So it was mysterious and people wanted to see what was going on until eventually the UK were the first ones to ban this sort of thing. And then the problem is that people ended up dying because they couldn't get work and they were like destitute and poor. And so the sideshow was terrible. And also, at least some of them got to have a little bit of success, kind of, sort of, horribly.